Hello and welcome to Pretty Good Gaming Podcast, episode number 33, with your boy Jake Kulkowski, my friends Gareth Evans and Liam McKelvey.
Hello.
First of all...
Sorry, can we be colleagues more than friends? Because it sounds more professional like that. Like we're just a group of guys sitting around. Because this is a profession. Sorry. Shooting you down after the first sentence.
They just don't want to.
Why did you invite me, Jake? Why did you invite me?
Yeah, that is the harshest rejection for friendship I've ever got. And
I'm not saying we're not friends. What I'm saying is that this is a professional production. So we are colleagues.
Now, I know what you're thinking.
I'm just pedantic motherfucker.
Well, look, for those that are thinking, a professional production, guys, but you've got a MacBook here, right?
Look at the quality of this backdrop. Look at the production value of this. I mean, is this not a professional?
It's real. So we got a MacBook. Let's get out of the way. I'm hosting a podcast on this right now, so that's why it's here. It's not showing off. Apple aren't paying us.
Yeah, for those of you.
Yeah, it's literally what I'm recording this on right now, and I've got my notes here to host a podcast. So stop asking. Let's get talking about loot boxes.
It's not just asking. What it is the people looking down. It's like, oh, you scrub. You're using an Apple product. Oh, how horrible. You know how. Like just judging us because we use the software on an Apple. For a creative person, it's the thing to use. It really is. Like Final Cut Pro is the best value editing software on the market, period. There's no subscription like there is in the Adobe Suite. Anyway,
definitely not paid. But I know that sounds like it. It's not. Shut up. We've got a lot to talk about today. So let me tell you the topics. This is going to be a while. This is going to be a long. Right, we're going to talk about loot boxes. It's a pretty good gaming staple. We've been on about it a lot this year. Sometimes we feel like we're broken records. But no, it's all coming to fruition. Everyone else is dancing to our tune. Loot boxes. We're also going to be talking about Golf Story a little bit, which is a Nintendo exclusive independent game about
it's
golf.
Better than it sounds. It's a lot better than it sounds.
I know what you're thinking, but yeah, these guys have completed it and they'll give you their opinions. We've also got Fact of the Week, the 30-second throwdown, and of course, the Patreon questions. So let's just jump into our main topic straight away. Loot boxes has been an interesting turn of events. This week, there was a petition formed that you may have seen on the top of Reddit. Here's a fun fact for all you viewers out there. It was actually created in the Pretty Good Gaming Discord channel by our very own Connor Dealey, who, he was talking about it. He created it. It's been signed a lot, nearly 5,000 times now, posted to Reddit.
We pushed out on a video, promoted on video on the Sunday show. Mm-hmm. And since then, it's caught traction.
Yeah, it's done the rounds.
Even Mac from Worth the Buy retweeted it.
That's it. I've even wrote.
We're famous now.
I've even wrote Worth a Buy.
You made it, Connor. Well done.
Yeah, Worth a Buy, and a bunch of Redditors are all supporting it. It's been getting some traction. Mm-hmm. So like I was saying, it's kind of weird for us because we've been on about loot boxes all year. It's like the big one. We felt the storm coming. And like I'm saying, sometimes even when we're talking about the scripts, we say like, there's another one about loot boxes, but they just keep happening. And now Jim Sterling, Total Biscuit, Eurogamer, Polygon, Kotaku, everyone, all this week are talking finally about the loot box bullshit. So why now? Why now, guys?
Let's just put a qualifier out there. I don't think Jim Sterling is just doing it now on the back of anything we've done. Jim Sterling is one of the guys who
he's been in the fight a long time.
Yeah, but this week all of these videos are
that's true. The way you termed it like that just sounds like they're jumping on our bandwagon, which isn't true because in a way we're jumping on Jim Sterling's bandwagon because it was him more than anyone who has been fighting the fight.
Yeah,
and Jim Sterling should take a lot of credit for this discussion coming to fruition now, because I feel like it's like the straw that broke the camel's back, right? And enough people are chipping away at this topic, and eventually 3 games come along at once in the news in a week, pretty much. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And everyone's talking about it because everyone's kind of heard microtransactions are bullshit, and there's discussions going on in the community, and then it all comes to fruition this week when these 3 games, we're talking about Battlefront 2, we're talking about Shadow of War. And Forza 7.
Yes.
So yeah, everything's kind of culminating in this, this frenzy that's going on right now.
I mean, Battlefront 2 is not out yet, so you might be thinking, well, what do you mean? Well, it's because there was the beta, and you can participate in that as of last weekend. And you got a feel for the loot boxes, and people were finally realising that it kind of has got these elements of the game that are randomized but give you an advantage. So you can be playing against somebody that was lucky enough to have found something that gives their blaster more damage and you don't have it. So how do they get that? Well, loot boxes, and they beat you because you know, they all they need is one shot. Like if you're both shooting each other and their bullets are 5% stronger, they're going to win every time, right? As long as you both don't miss, it's not a fair fight. And that's from randomization from loot boxes. So that has caused a big kickoff amongst the, you know, the game community at whole, because you can't ignore it. Normally, people can try and look at the plus sides of these things, and there's been people trying to justify it and stuff, but it's been quite, you know, unanimous.
It slaps you in the face is the problem. I mean, we all got access to the beta last week, Thursday for early investors, and then the weekend for everybody else. And that's the problem. Like the first thing that happens, even in the intro video, John Boyega talks about all the new features in the Battlefront 2 versus Battlefront 1. And before, you know, it's like a 5-minute video, but before he finishes, he introduces the loot crates. Look at these awesome star cards that you can get. It's like, yeah, all right, but you know, this is the paid system. Why are you introducing this to us here? Obviously, to desensitize us, to get us used to this bullshit. After that video, click off it. Let's play the game. The first thing that pops up on the screen, there's a dialog box. Just click away from this box that says, "Oh yeah, there's loot boxes here. You can open them right now." Again, to get you used to the loot box system. They're not selling you them at this point. This is just the beta, so they're familiarizing you with it. And that's the problem. It's like they slap you in the face before you even get hands on. Like you watch the trailer and you get this box popping in front of your face. You haven't even gotten to the menu yet. That's the problem, that's what annoyed me straight away.
That's the menu, isn't it? The menu is like on the left-hand side of the screen. You've got like, you know, different options or whatever. And then you've got the loot box just there, sitting there. Yeah, you can click a button to open it or whatever. I mean, like, I guess, yeah, the beta doesn't give you the option to buy them, but they're there because you can earn them in game as well, right? This is the whole accelerated rewards thing, right? Which we'll come back to in a minute, because that's quite a contemporary subject about that I'll bring out in a minute.
But I think it makes a mockery of the whole beta thing, right? Early access thing, is it?
It's a beta.
It's supposed to be a beta, right? So the whole idea of a beta, we know what a beta is for. You play the game, you give our feedback, they fix the bugs. That's not what it is. This is a promotional. It's obviously a promotional tool. They're trying to sell the game with that video with John Boyega, and they're trying to get you used to the loot boxes. And that's what it's like. They don't even call it a beta. This is promotion. This is early hands onto the game.
Well, this is what I was going to say. Is like going on the back of that, your progress from the beta carries on when you buy the game now. So if you're level 10, when you start the game, you're level 10. So, right, let's say you didn't get level 10. You want to try and get ahead of your friends or whatever, or catch up with your friends. What's the best way to do that? Just put a couple of quid into a loot box or whatever, isn't it? As far as they're concerned, as far as the people that buy them are concerned. So it's giving people a head start, so the people that are lagging behind have got even more incentive to buy these loot boxes straight away, I think.
That's a great point, yeah.
So that's Battlefront 2, and I guess that has been kind of the main... Well, it hasn't, has it? Shadow of War.
Shadow of War
is the main
one.
On
the back of that, it's like Battlefront teed it up and Shadow of War knocking out the park, it looks like.
I'll get the golf ons in earlier.
No, that was baseball.
Oh, right, okay.
Oh, teed it up is golf. Yeah, sorry. I apologise. Knocking out the park is baseball.
Sports are all the same to me.
Sports, guys.
Seal clubbing's the only one.
Sports are the same.
So, I mean, Battlefront 2, the beat's happened, right? Let's talk about a game that's actually out. This is Shadow of War. It came out today at the time of recording, which was Tuesday by the time you're listening to it. And there's kind of a revelation. It's came to light that what they've done, Warner Bros, is they've hidden the grindy loot box bit at the end. So you're invested into this game a lot.
So this is like the fourth chapter of the game, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like the completionist ending. So like, you know, that's kind of nasty, because that's tapping into that human nature of wanting to finish things. I'm 95% done with this to get that extra 5% of the way through. You know what I mean? You've already sunk loads of time into it. So yeah, what they've announced is that there's these things called Shadow Wars, which is after you've took over the whole of the map and you've completed the game or whatever. Sauron wants to take it back, so he just starts sending out all these orcs to your fortress. So then you've got to defend them, but they happen so thick and fast that you've got to get loads of orcs banked up, or
you need really high level orcs
to help you defend against the orcs that are coming back to attack your towns and settlements and all that shit. So How do you do that? Well, you can either be really lucky, because remember, this is all luck-based, not skill-based, which is annoying, because that's the whole thing. Some people are just unlucky. Some people can be skilled and unlucky, and that's shit for them, isn't it? They are having to grind the boring, not fun parts of the game to gather these orcs, to get the money to get exciting orcs. And even then, it's not guaranteed. They get to shit.
You might get really lucky and get a run of like shit orcs.
So how can you accelerate these rewards? Buy them. And it's annoying everyone. Again, like, it's just too much to ask. This is a game, it's the same with Battlefront 2, they're full price games. So
yeah.
We all know it's bullshit, but for some reason this has really got under people's skin now of all times. And I think it's because it's just been, it's funny because there's not been one big game release out in the past week that's not had the inclusion of loot boxes. It was announced today that Assassin's Creed Origins is going to feature loot boxes.
Yep, it's out in a few weeks.
It's like, even more. What's next? Super Mario Odyssey? Assassin's Creed Origins loot boxes.
Break your heart, Liam.
Yeah,
that would break my heart.
What would you do if Super Mario gave you the option to accelerate the rewards by buying moons? Would you can skip a level?
I'd just put the game down right there, to be honest, because that's too far for me. That would break me.
Yeah, it's the acceleration that's annoying. It's the same with this Assassin's Creed. There's the new chest, they're called Heka chests or Heka chests, and everything in the e-store you can get from playing the game. And then Assassin's Creed guys have said it's an accelerated way of playing the game.
We all know what that means, don't we?
Don't play the game.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Yeah, you can accelerate your rewards, but all you're doing is skipping the game. And at the end of the day, you're paying for that privilege. It's like you've already paid for the game. They're going to make it. Are they going to make it more grindy? That's the problem with Shadow of War, isn't it? They've made it like inorganically grindy. They've manufactured this grind at the end of the game to profit off the diehard fans who got to that part of the game. I don't know how many hours in it is. Yeah. And now that they're all familiar with the loot crates, we'll charge them the loot crates, and they just make the game grindy. They ruin the game. They balance it in the way of buying loot boxes. Now, the fact that they're saying you can accelerate your rewards, it's exactly the same thing, and that's the fear for Assassin's Creed, as it's been termed now, is that they will do exactly the same thing. Because we said hopefully they don't make it grindy. When we first announced the Shadow of War microtransactions, loot boxes bullshit, we said let's hope they don't make it too grindy. Yeah, we did. They did. And now we're saying exactly the same thing here. Let's hope they don't make it too grindy. Lo and behold, it's the jury is out. Do you think that game developers are missing the point here because they keep talking about accelerating rewards? Do you think that they forgot that a lot of people enjoy getting the reward? A lot of people, the reward is the least important part. How you get there is, like at the end of old games, like on the Mega Drive or the Atari and all that. When you finish the game, the reward it would be like you've saved the day, game over. It's getting there that's good. For this, everyone seems to just be like end game stuff. What you get after you've done something. But how about making that part fun? Do you know what I mean? Rather than grindy.
Do you think that there's a bit too obsessed with that? Like they're kind of making the gameplay the least important part of it.
That's the way that they're capitalizing on it, right? They're making these long drawn out elements in the game. They grind. They're creating this grind, and then they're giving you a solution. It's like the sales tactic, and they give you a problem, sell you the solution. Yeah. It's exactly what they're doing here. Just make a decent effing game. Just charge us £5 more. Charge us £10 more. Very happy to play your game at that point. Very happy to play through your game. Don't make it grindy and try and sell us loot boxes and capitalize on people who might have a bit of an addiction to gambling or something, who want that kind of feedback of opening crates all day, or just like kids as well who can just use their parents' credit cards. They're preying on these vulnerable people and profiting off it, hoping that a few whales will come away and throw thousands of pounds. You could literally throw thousands of pounds into it. There's no regulation. There's no limit to it, and that's the dirty part. That's what really makes you like, screen crawl about it.
What I find interesting is that when I was growing up, Pokemon cards were a thing, right? Yeah, remember them? Yeah, and they took over. They were like well addictive for kids. The school playground was made by them. And that was like a loot box system, right? Obviously opening card packs and stuff. But the difference there, I guess, is that had a real world value. You could sell that Charizard or that card to a mate or trade it, whatever, for $5 or whatever. With this, it's like locked to an account, what your Warner Bros. Account and all this. So there's no real tradability to these systems, and because that's what I'm saying. People have been saying it. They've been doing it since before the internet, before video games. But it's a different kettle of fish, isn't it?
It's a really a bit of a stretch to make that comparison, because you're not buying a product outright. You're not buying like a board game like Monopoly and then paying for the cards afterwards in packs. This is the Pokemon thing. It's just cards, like, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
You buy cards, you trade them. That's the whole point. There's no like £50 investment to begin with. So it's kind of a bad comparison in my eyes. Yeah,
exactly. And I mean, that's the whole kind of ploy of them, is to collect more rather than like try and pretend it's a game before you buy more. Like that's the thing, Shadow of War and Battlefront 2. I mean, you probably could play a game with not spending any money, but I think with Battlefront 2, the problem is the game's mostly online. Like there's going to be a campaign, but are you going to be having fun if you keep getting shot like in an unfair way? You're like doing quite well. Let's say you're a skilled player and you're doing well, and you know that you shouldn't have died to that guy. It was a fair fight. How did that guy get me? It's because he's got 10% extra damage.
And it shows you on the screen, and that
tells you what they've got equipped and everything.
Yeah, it literally like, you've died, like, and at that point where you're like, that fucker killed me. Like, where can I vent? Yeah. I know. They'll show you on screen exactly what cards, what buffs that they had that you didn't have.
Yeah,
it's like, right, yeah. So you're supposed to. Then what they're doing is they're tapping in on that negative energy that you feel when you die, and then trying to vent it. Oh, look at the cards. All you need is cards.
Yeah.
All you need is cards, and then like, all right, I need cards. I need to pay for these cards, and they're trying to use that.
That's what I mean. They're making you feel bad.
Don't feel bad. Just buy some cards.
It's not like a get good thing, is it? Because that's the thing. You could be really good, but lose to someone because they've got 20% more health, and that's the problem. They're making it not an even playing field.
Who says this isn't pay to win? You really need to have a word with yourself, because this is paying to get an advantage to win. At what point?
Yeah.
Like, how can you not see that? Like, people are condoning this. I lose faith. I honestly
doing it, right? Well, here's something that I wanted to bring up, and I wanted to see what you guys thought of this, because this happened in the news last night. I was browsing Twitter and I saw this, and I'm glad to see it's been making headlines now. Metacritic is a website that you can gather all the opinions of critics and make a decision based on what they've got to say on stuff. It's got a scoring system, and it's used very seriously. Some games like Fallout New Vegas based their bonuses and things like that on how well a game did on Metacritic. Okay, now there's an alternative to that called OpenCritic, very similar. We've used it in some of our videos before. I know when you write scripts, Liam, sometimes you'll consider
big fan of them.
The OpenCritic as well as Metacritic.
Tell us about OpenCritic then. What's the difference?
So OpenCritic it's a community-made platform, and their entire goal is to get aggregate reviews like Metacritic does, but they try and show transparency in the reviews. So you can compare reviewer, like it even lists the individual reviewer. You can filter through, you can see all the past scores they've given to games, you can see like what the community have given to a game. It tells you in what percentage of games it's ranked. So like a big concern was like IGN and Polygon giving 9 out of 10s to games that weren't that good, and it'll tell you like where that ranks in top games. So it can show you like discrepancies in reviewing patterns and stuff like that.
So it gives you more information.
Yeah, they're built around just giving more information to the consumer. That's their entire goal, and they're pretty good at it, to be fair.
They're being taken seriously. Whenever you look at review threads and things like that, a lot of the time it'll be next to the Metacritic score. So with that in mind, that's a good segue into what I'm going to say next. OpenCritic are all about the transparency. So if you guys, you don't believe IGN, you don't believe all this, but you want to have a look at something less biased and things like that, I'd recommend OpenCritic. And they actually made a very interesting tweet recently. They said that they want to make a stand about the poisonous loot boxes. That's what they've said. And they're trying to figure out a way of adding a business model information to the game. So when you click on a game, you can see if it's got loot boxes in or not. Not only that, but they're going to look at a judging system on that. So is it an intrusive loot box system? Is it cosmetic only? And things like that. And that can be judged as well. So you could say the game is a 9 out of 10, but the loot box system is a 1 out of 10 or something like that. So you'll be able to see if it's something quite unintrusive, like, say, I don't know, Destiny 2 is a game I've been playing lately. And I at no point have seen anything about microtransactions pop up on my screen. I would say
inoffensive.
It's very inoffensive. Or something like Shadow of War or Fortnite, where it's things like that. And, I mean, it took a long time for people to do that, but what do you think of this thing?
It's a good move. It's a great move. I mean, for people like us who try and spread information about microtransactions and how much they impose themselves in games these days, to have some sort of overview page where you can see and read yourself without having to do any more research. Just go to this one site, find the game that you're interested in, and have a look. Is there microtransactions in it? How intrusive are they? How much do they affect gameplay? I think it's perfect. I think they're setting the trend here, and I think we should commend them for coming up with this idea, and hopefully, more people take to the pick it up and do the same thing.
It could be the thing that really knocks Metacritic off the top, because a lot of people don't trust that, because, like Liam was saying, IGN are on there, and they're a company who are known for, well, they fired staff before because they'd agreed give this game this score and the guy didn't. Kane Lynch.
Well, that was GameSpot.
GameSpot, of course. Yeah. Sorry, my mistake. And yeah, they fired Jeff Gerstmann or whatever, right?
Yeah, he went on to make Giant Bomb, one of the bastions of the gaming community.
Yeah,
pretty well regarded.
Exactly. I mean, some people I know in our YouTube comments don't know about stuff like that, and they kind of just, I think IGN's just like a bit of a meme, isn't it? People don't really trust them, and sometimes they don't really know why. Even then, I made the mistake of saying IGN, so there's that. But OpenCritic seems to be very cool and clear for information, because sometimes people just want to know if they want to buy a game. They might even be in the shop wanting to buy the game. You can go on something like OpenCritic and you can just see a number, 86, 100 critics, 86 or whatever. Loot box system, red. Oh, red means trouble, or whatever. Whatever system you're going to play. Because imagine going into a shop. You're there, you've got it in your hand, and you have to read through a fucking Eurogamer article. Fucking 20 paragraphs.
Is there microtransactions? Can't fucking see that.
It was a thrilling experience. Until I
mean, the sales clerk. He's not going to not sell you a game.
No, exactly.
Because he's probably working on bonus and commission, so he wants you to buy that game no matter what.
And now more than ever, it's really important to have a look at this, because these games are still full price. It's not like they're cheaper because they got microtransactions in.
Getting more expensive.
Everything's getting more expensive.
Yeah, with season passes, expansion passes, and all that shit. Like, to get the full fat game these days, it's not just like the $60. It's sometimes like a Battlefront 1, for instance, $110 for the full experience. But they sold it at $60 to begin with.
So you want to, if there was an easy place so you could look at, I just want to buy a game. I just want to buy a game. I don't want to buy a game that's going to be completed next year or whatever. I want to buy a game that's gone gold, it's done, I don't have to buy a season pass. I mean, where do you go to do that? Like, you have to look into it yourself. You have to Google it. We always ask ourselves, is this game got a season pass? You know what I mean? It's like, Liam, has this game got a season pass or whatever? and it's like that. And so I'd love the idea. I mean, who wouldn't like the idea of the option? People are talking about stuff like this all the time. Options.
Yeah, it's about becoming more informed as a consumer, and I think this service that OpenCritic have tweeted about and they're going to implement. I think it can only be good for those people who want to consider where their money's going and what kind of experience they're going to have. Obviously, inform yourselves, guys, and I for one will be using OpenCritic in the future as soon as we will be promoting it if it does what they say they're going to do, for sure. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, this is the thing. One thing we see in our comment section and all over the internet about the microtransactions argument, which I can't lie, we're all pretty against this opinion, but I want to put it out there. People are saying, hey guys, here's a solution. Just don't buy them, which is, I mean, that's an option. And the world, everyone loves the fact that there's options. But if there's the option for you to educate yourself more for free, go and look at a game, have a look at the microtransactions on a glance, then why is that a bad thing? You know what I mean? As for the people saying the games, you don't have to buy the microtransactions, all I say is Buy Battlefront, don't spend any money on microtransactions, and good luck.
Yeah,
good luck having fun.
There's a lot of arguments against that. You just don't buy them. That ignores the fact that they are, as companies, preying on the vulnerable, like we touched on earlier. I mean, if you're okay with that, fine. Go ahead, buy the game, play the game, and just condone it. It's just like just ignore it, because it's not your problem, right? And the other thing is that they balance these games, like we touched on earlier again. They balance these games in favor of microtransactions and loot boxes. So the more that you support these games, the more that they will affect your gameplay. And again, you ignore it if you want to. That's fine. But you're getting a subpar service. Like, you're not getting as good an experience as you would have if you spoke up and tried to get rid of these microtransactions like we try and do.
It's lowering the value of the game, but it's not lowering the price of the game. So soon, if this continues, we'll be buying 60% of a game for 100% of the price. And that needs to stop.
I mean, it makes you worry about the future. I mean, this isn't microtransactions and loot crates as such. But you look at the industry, the way it's going, the way that they're selling you like parts of games after the fact, and you can unlock them with expansion passes and all that sort of shit. You wonder when it's going to come to a game where it's like imagine Cuphead, if you would, and you load up Cuphead. This isn't going to be Cuphead, by the way, because Cuphead is a great example of a good game, well made. But like Cuphead, where you boot up, and it's a 2D side scroller. You run through the level. There's no enemies. You've got to pay extra for enemies, or you've got to unlock them in loot crates. You get random enemies in loot crates. Imagine that. Imagine your boss is in a loot crate. You can't. There's no boss at the end of this level, and then you go through. That's the way that they're going. They're stripping bits out of games, like this the Forza 7 thing that we talked about the other day. There was an example where they were taking off your bonuses that Forza 6 was fine because they had a 2 times bonus.
Yeah, it was double experience.
Double experience, sorry, there was a double experience card that you got for a VIP member. But they stripped that out of the game for Forza 7 and tried to make that like a limited use only, so that you use microtransactions to pay for more. It's like what are they doing in the industry?
As a service.
This is where it's going.
That's what they want. They want you to pay monthly. Every game's going to be like an MMO, right? So I mean, it's getting to the point now where when a game comes out and it's just a game, like Divinity Original Sin, there's no plans for an expansion. There's nothing like that. It's just a game. People are like, oh, so refreshing. And it's like, that's just a game. Know? It's like Shadow of War, right? You can see on the map places that are going to be out later
that you can't get to.
You can't get to now, but it's in the game.
And it's going to be an expansion down the line.
More on that in the 30-second throwdown. So I just want to let's use this as a segue to talk about a game that is complete. There's no microtransactions as far as I'm aware that you guys have been playing this week. We're talking, of course, about Golf Story, which is a sports-based RPG developed and published by Sidebar Games. It's their debut game, actually. This is a Nintendo exclusive indie game about golf. So I know on paper it's not sounding like your bag, but hey, don't worry about it. Stay tuned. It's the shocking tale, this is from their website, it's the shocking tale of a golfer forced to give up all he holds dear for one final shot at accomplishing his dream. But all is not so simple. In the world of golf, to best today's players, you need to be able to keep up with them, not just on the course, but also off it. So let's talk about this first of all. Now, stay locked in. Now, first, before we get into any of it, there's games like No Man's Sky, Explore a Million Universes, Shadow of War, kill loads of fucking orcs. Stardew Valley, do some chores. People love it. People love games that sound mundane on paper because when you play them, they're amazingly fun. Golf Story doesn't sound appealing at all to me. I looked at you playing it. I'm interested. Tell me, what is this game about?
So, Golf Story puts you in the name of an unnamed character. Yeah. And it starts with a flashback of him playing this around the golf with his dad until his dad gets attacked by deadly geese. This is just the intro. There you go.
This is the intro, yeah.
And then he loses his shot at becoming the pro. And it's all about like the story of redemption. And he wants to become the next golfing pro tour champion. And that is the basic premise of the game.
Flash forward 20 years.
So it's not taking itself too seriously, first of all. That's what I've gathered, right? There's wild geese attack straight away. So it knows full well this is an RPG about golf. I'm not taking myself super seriously.
It's just, it knows it's having a laugh.
Okay.
It's just like... And it's kind of similar to if you've ever played the Mario Golf games that were on Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, and they were golfing RPGs. You had stats, you leveled up, you could change your gear, and that's what Golf Story's trying to bring back. It's kind of a forgotten series now. I think the last one was on it's either Nintendo DS or Game Boy Advance,
Right.
and that's what Sidebar Games won. They loved those games. No one really makes them anymore, so they thought we'll make our own one.
Yeah.
And that's what Golf Story is.
Like Stardew Valley did with the Harvest Moon style games.
Exactly,
It's
yeah.
a resurgence of
That same sort of design philosophy.
And speaking of design, the graphics, is it a 3D game? Is it?
No, it's 2D pixel art. Very nice pixel art, I have to add. It's very well done.
Yeah.
It's not like the cheap shit you see on Steam sometimes. It's proper all hand-drawn, pixel perfect,
Nice sprites.
very sharp. Really nice pixel graphics, yeah.
Okay. It looks like a very cool, like a Game Boy Advance kind of style game.
Yeah.
It's a RPG.
It is an
golf.
RPG.
Is it more of an RPG or is it more of a golf game?
This, if you don't mind if I answer this one, because
No, go for it.
I played it too, and this was one of my main selling points. And for anyone who doesn't like golf as a game, this game. This is an RPG game themed around golf.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everything that you do, all right, it's golf. But it could be another RPG game themed around battling or fighting or something. Yeah. But instead of swinging a sword, you're swinging a golf club. There's mini games, there's mini quests, there's everything. Mostly everything is themed around golf, right? So you might have to save. You might have to try and knock some eggs. Redistribute eggs to the birds on the one course because the birds are infiltrated this course and they're fucking everything up for everyone.
Right,
these stupid birds.
Yeah.
Well, you've got the eggs and you've got to golf shot them back into their areas.
Right.
So they'll that's just one example of how you use the golf mechanic to interact with the world, and so it's full of that, and the game is full of character. There's loads of other characters. The dialogue is superb. There's just so much character to this game that if you dismiss it because it's a golf game, more fool on you, because this game is an exceptional RPG game. You level up, you gain experience for every interaction that you have or everything that you achieve.
That's what I was going to say. Do you get skill points? If there's a skill tree?
Yeah,
there is.
There's not a skill tree. There's no unlockable things, but you can find random things that upgrade what you do.
You can get like in an RPG, you have your sword, your armor, and whatnot. Yeah. Well, it's just your different golf clubs. So you can have a special sand wedge or a 9-iron, stuff like that. And then you can find bonus items which are give you faster tee off time and more control over the ball in midair. And it's stupid stuff like your dad's old glove that you find, and it gives you a longer drive on your tee off. Yeah, right. And it's stuff like that. But it's all very familiar RPG mechanics, just with the golf theme on it.
Yeah, but it's like how Stardew Valley, I don't think many people that play Stardew Valley want to be a farmer. No. I know I'm not rushing in line to wake up at 6 in the morning and milk some cows, but I love Stardew Valley. Mm-hmm. So the fact that it's golf, and I've got no interest in golf in real life or whatever, doesn't hinder the fact that the game looks ace and I want to play it.
No, it's great.
How long is it? Because you guys have both finished it, right? Is it?
It took me about 13 hours. That's with doing some side questing and stuff like that. It's quite a lengthy game for an indie game.
Around 15 for me.
Yeah, and so there's side quests, even
that.
Side quests, there's just random things. You walk up to into a hut and you find, you interact with this person who you could just completely ignore. But there's lots of content in there.
Does it all take place on one golf course, or do you have to go to different places? In my head, I'm thinking of in the Pokemon games when you go to different towns and shit. Is it like that, or do you just stay in one place?
Yeah, it's kind of like that. There's an overworld, because it's an RPG.
Yeah.
And each one has a different course. The first one, it's a standard rundown golf course. Then the second one you go to is prehistoric themed.
Cool. Yeah, right.
Golfing on fossils of dinosaurs, and you play matches against cavemen and shit like that.
Yeah, there's 7 different courses, and you need to unlock them as you go along. So there's many different themes. There's the beach, there's the birds, there's
There's the Halloween one, where it's pumpkins and zombies.
It's so full of character, jam full of character. And it might sound a bit boring, but one thing I want to kind of explain is like how funny it is, right? Because there's all these characters and they've all trying to achieve things or whatever. They've got a lot of character, but there's this one Scottish dwarf, right? There's a Scottish dwarf in it. Why wouldn't there be a Scottish dwarf? He's a blacksmith, yeah, and he crafts some clubs for you, yeah. Right. And the one time that this game had me literally laughing out loud is where he makes these set of clubs for you, but he makes a 90-degree club, yeah. As you can imagine, you hit the ball with this club, it goes 90 degrees. Yeah. So he knocks. I can see this happening. I can see it coming along, but it still made me laugh. So he tests out this 90-degree club. The ball goes straight in the air and comes down and whacks him on the head and knocks him out. I was laughing. I mean, that was funny.
A good moment.
It was a beautiful.
It sounds like it's got a lot of humour in there. I was watching
humorous.
Gaz play it in the office like last week, and it was this guy, and he kept saying "mate" all the time. It seems like the dialogue is written to be like.
The devs are Australian, so there's a lot of like Australian slang in there.
Right. It looks like, the game's got a lot of character and person, and that's what's the selling point, really, because everyone's talking about it. It's not like people are playing it and then people are playing it and they have to talk about it.
I think what's special about it for me is that it is an RPG, but it's not one of these RPGs where it's like, oh no, our village has been taken over. I'll say, the world is about to come to an end. Like everything's on you. It's not one of them where you feel like, oh, I've got to save all these people, and it's just very generic and tropey. That
low. Pressure,
this is just like a personal story. Yeah. That's all it is. And what's funny about it is like everyone's like talking down at you. Like you meet a coach and he's like, oh no, you're not good enough. I can't coach you. You're not good enough. And you're like, I'm getting these holes in one. Like I've just played the course better than anyone before. Now you're not good enough. Your swing's not good enough. And like everyone you're talking to, talking down to you, and you know you're good enough. And you see you're feeling for this character. Like you're investing in this character. It's like I'm good enough to do this. And then eventually people start coming around. It's so good. It's
this could be. Now this is where Liam, you might have something to say, but I'm going to go out on a limb. Is this the first Switch exclusive indie game that's piquing people's interests? Because I think all the great indies that have come to Nintendo so far are ports. I mean, let's get that right. Nintendo have been killing it with the indies. Their selection has been superb. Every good indie game I've played over the past 10 years is coming to Switch, apart from Night in the Woods. But like Stardew Valley, Limbo, Inside, Super Meat Boy, oh my god, Nintendo could be the reason for an indie fan to buy a console. And you'd never have guessed that in a million years. PC is currently the home of the indie game. This is the first one I'm jealous of Nintendo for having, because all the others was like, Limbo, I played it 5 years ago. I think this is the first big one that they've got, right?
Yeah.
And who fucking knew it would be about golf? But it's like Stardew Valley. If I told you, the biggest indie game of 2016 is going to be a game where it's just, Harvest Moon? It's just like that. You're a farmer. Oh, it's just like Harvest Moon? Yeah. Oh. No, no one will believe it. It's like this. If I said the best indie game this year so far, one of the highest ones anyway, apart from Hollow Knight, which should be coming to Switch soon, is about golf, people would be like, what? I mean, it's exciting for an indie gamer. It's exciting, and
I mean, for me, I've owned a Switch for a while, right? And I've not. There's just not been coming out with enough games to interest me. And everyone's gushing over Breath of the Wild. That's great. It's not for me. But what I wanted is to see something that gave me some faith in the platform, faith in the console itself. That it could be something that could capture my imagination and that I'd want to spend a lot of time with. Golf Story is that game for me. Golf Story is the one that made me believe in the Nintendo Switch, and that's quite something to say, because I can see. I'm walking around the house playing it. I'm having fun. I'll sit on the telly playing it. I'm cooking my tea playing it. I can do that and have such a great experience on the fly, which is the selling point of the Switch, right? That's what they try to pitch it as.
Yep.
I can definitely see this console taking off in a big way, just based on the fact of how much fun I've had playing Golf Story. So credit to the Switch for a lot, for following through. And people say it's a gimmick. I don't believe that anymore. I think that Golf Story has proven otherwise to me. I think that, and I'm looking forward to the future. I'm looking for my next game now. I finished Golf Story. I was disappointed. I was like, I finished it. That's the worst part about it when it ends. You're like, really? I want some more. I'm looking for more games, and I can't wait for more games to come out. Really, honestly,
it's weird because a lot of people that have played the indie games or haven't played the indie games and heard about them probably would end up buying them for the Switch. Do you know what I mean? Like people that hadn't played Inside buying it for the Switch with Limbo seems like a great idea. Because
I did it for Stardew Valley. I was waiting for the Switch version of that game before I ever played it, and now I've got it. I can play it.
Yeah, it's the same with Jake in your room. Yeah.
It works so well on Switch though, because you don't need high-end graphics. You know, the indie games genre is perfect for the Switch.
Yeah. Small file size as well.
Yeah, so exactly.
You've got all that. It's interesting. I mean, Nintendo had an unusual thing where they didn't front load their release window. They had Breath of the Wild and Mario Kart, which was just a remake of the Wii U game, like the deluxe edition. And then it's kind of just, they've crept up. They've got these indie games. They got Super Mario Odyssey out in a couple of weeks. It's looking good. I'm keeping my eyes on the Nintendo news, and I didn't think I would be. I thought I was kind of...
They've increased production to 2 million units or something. So, I mean, I just read a headline. I don't know any details, but they increased in production in Nintendo Switch, and you can see why.
Ready for Christmas.
That's it.
I know what I want for Christmas this year. It's a Nintendo Switch. I didn't think I would say that, you know. I thought I would have went for like VR something, but no, man, I just want a Switch. I want to play these indie games. So that's it. Golf story then. I mean, I was going to ask you guys what it is that, you know, keeps you coming back or keeps people playing about it, but I think you kind of answered it, me.
It's just for charm. It's got so much charm that you just want to see where it's a bizarre game as well. You just want to see where it's going to go next. It's really unpredictable.
You just said then the second place was like, what, dinosaurs?
As soon as you're like that, you're like, well, where's this game going next? I want to keep seeing this. So it's just that keeps you going.
And it's got so much to it. It's not just a game about golf. There's loads of side quests, characters to interact with, missions, and the charm. There's lots of facets to it, like the leveling up system. You can put your experience points or level up points into certain abilities with regards to your swing and things. So there's decisions to be made. It's a real fun time. It really is.
The actual golf gameplay as well. It's really solid. It's like it's detailed as well.
It's not difficult. I wouldn't say it's difficult, but there is no technical aspects. You put spin on the ball, you upgrade your spin. You can that can help you out.
You don't have to be a golfer though to
don't have to play. No.
Accessible.
You might play this game and come out of it with an appreciation for golf.
Yeah.
I think you would.
Yeah, that's really what Stardew Valley did for a lot of people.
I mean, it's making a comeback, isn't it, Jake?
Golf is making a comeback.
It's making a comeback.
Do you know? I'll tell you what. The golf puns in the office are making a comeback. It's been well. Keep an eye out on our videos through the week. You'll see them. But there we go. Golf story. Glowing reviews. Not just here. Pretty much everywhere.
Highly recommended by me.
So if you've got a Switch, definitely worth picking up. I don't know what the pricing is, guys.
13.
Yeah, it's like £13.50.
Look at that. Less than a burger and a pint, that, isn't it? So there you go, golf story. That's it for our topics for today. We're going to move on to our features now. I've got the 30-second throwdown coming up, fact of the week, and Patreon comments. I sound like a radio DJ, like coming after these ads. 30-second throwdown. I'm taking it this week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have a timer, so
I can
okay. I mean, whilst you're doing that, I'll tell you guys a little bit about what this is about. Shadow of War. We got it sent to us early. Thanks, Warner Bros. And it's massive. The file size of the game is massive, so I'm going to tell you about that. Why? And we will ponder. Ready to go?
Yeah.
Let's do the death metal jingle. Oh, that was good.
That's way too long. Let's go.
Okay, so like I say, thanks Warner Bros for sending us an early copy of Shadow of War. However, why the fuck is it 70 gigabytes? And I'm glad I didn't ask for a PC code from you because it's 97 gigabytes. How can you excuse that? Gears of War is like 100 and something gigabytes, and that was a piss take. Shadow of War's no better. 70 gig. What about people that live in rural areas, you selfish pricks? Skyrim was 11 fucking gigabytes. Are you kidding me? Think about how big Skyrim is. 11 gig. What the fuck is your excuse for this? Wankers. That's it.
That's all you got.
That's it. That's it.
That's good enough.
Yeah, I don't know if the wankers was necessary. I was going to call it that.
They could at least compress the bloody game, though.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
4K. Anyway, so, I mean, thanks for bearing with us. We're going to move on to YouTube's premiere video game trivia podcast section, Fact of the Week. Roll the jingle. All right, this is a doozy. This is maybe my favourite one ever. I'm going to read it out with no further ado. In Grey's Anatomy, the video game, the likeness used for patient Paulson E is of the game's art director, Mike Papas. Okay, so it's time for the Patreon comments now. We've actually only got a couple. They're quite detailed. But yeah, remember, guys, I mean, there's plenty of new patrons. Discord's filling up. But if you've got any questions you want to ask us, feel free to. Maybe you've all seen our FAQ section and you don't want to because we've already answered them. But
well, they've watched all the podcasts like you should be doing, and they know all the answers to all the questions that they had anyway. So you're either good for knowing the answers or bad for not giving us questions.
There is actually people saying, like, I'm backlogging the podcast.
Yeah.
But it's true, because when I watch a podcast and I finish it, I'll watch an older podcast. You know what I mean? Like, I'll watch podcasts.
And on that topic, before we move on, people are asking, can we have a downloadable link on Google Play, on this
iTunes
platform, that platform?
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't know, we have it downloaded from the Patreon page. Mm-hmm. So you can download the MP3 on the Patreon page, so you can listen to it on the go. That's the best way that we can do it without making it an admin nightmare, right? So it's simple for us. It's simple for you. Just click the link and download, and then listen on your device.
Even if you're not a patron, even if you're not supporting us on Patreon, by the time, if you're watching this video on YouTube now, by this time the Patreon link is unlocked, so you can just go and download it. So you don't even have to be a patron to do it. You just have to go to our Patreon, because that's where we're hosting it. Because, like Gaz saying, it's an admin nightmare. It's a bandwidth issue. We've got to deal with all sorts of shit with iTunes, and it's just like, oh my god, why?
Just stick it on Patreon, and then so long as everybody knows where to get it from, there's no problem.
Yeah, the Patreon link's in the description.
You just have to know.
Yeah, exactly. Just to click on it. So there we go. If you've made it that way and you want to download it for keepsies, they are. All right, first question this week comes from Dante Rodi, and he says, hey guys, love the channel, and also massively excited for Red Dead Redemption 2. I agree that Red Dead Redemption 2 will 100% be a great single-player experience, but do you think Rockstar's focus has shifted to online since the success of Grand Theft Auto 5? We never got any single-player DLC for GTA 5, which they had promised in the past. Do you think we're going to get the same Rockstar shaft in here with Red Dead Redemption 2?
Okay, let's make a distinction here between GTA 5 and GTA Online, because they're separate beasts, okay? GTA 5 was a fully complete game. GTA 5 was a great game, in my opinion.
Correct.
GTA Online is where they're fleecing people with the online content. And I think so long as they stick to that, and they make a fully featured game, Red Dead Redemption 2, and then they make a Red Dead Online, I'll be happy. I'm happy with GTA 5, the way that I've done it. I don't approve of shark cards and all that people buying, but that I can just not experience that. I can have a fully featured game in GTA 5 without going to GTA Online, and that's what I've done, and I'm happy with that.
With Red Dead Redemption, because if what you're referring to is the fact that they promised DLC for GTA 5 and then they focused on that, then the only thing I can hope for is that Red Dead Redemption 2 is so complete it might not need DLC, because you might have a point. Maybe they're just going to complete the game, like Gaz is saying, a single entity, which is what we were saying earlier in the podcast. We want just a game that's complete, no extra shit, and then they focus on Red Dead. If it's like that, then sorry, I moved the mic there, guys, so I'm really sorry about that. And yeah, if they just focus on completing the game 100%, then I'm not bothered.
There's no reason to think that they wouldn't, because it worked well with GTA. I mean, whatever worked. They made a killing out of GTA, and they've used this model where they've done a single-player experience, self-contained, no microtransactions, no bullshit, and they released that. And then on top of that, it was GTA Online, which is a separate beast. That worked for them. Why would they change it? Let's hope they stick to that, and let's hope they stick to porting over to the PC as well, because we all know we want the PC version of Red Dead 2.
Yes. Jaster asks, I like this question. I think this is going to be funny. I'm glad you're sitting in for this one, Gaz.
Brilliant.
Question. Can you guys give your own personal opinion about any of your co-workers' fanboy tendencies?
Oh my God.
It doesn't have
Where should we start?
It doesn't have to necessarily be about gaming if that person is a full-on fanboy about... Yeah, but not just gaming. If a person's a fanboy of any topic, let it be known.
Yeah, let's like put... The biggest one has to be Ryan Gosling, right? These guys gush. They cream their pants about Ryan Gosling every single time he comes up. They could be the founder members or like the lead members of the Ryan Gosling fan club. You even coined the name of the fan club. What would it be?
We were Goslings.
Because you're the Duck.
What
Duck
Duck
Boys
Boys?
on
Duck
Destiny.
Boys.
Fan.
So
I think you put it.
yeah,
We are
yeah.
already the Duck Boys, so why not become the Goslings?
The
I
Goslings.
thought that was a very fitting name.
Yeah.
We should change their names to the Goslings because I swear to God, you get them talking about Ryan Gosling and they won't shut up for half an hour.
I bet he didn't see that coming, did he?
Fuck me, man.
Anything else?
He's a good actor. He's all right. Like everything else, like I'm in the fanboy over
I love that
the most nerdy shit, like the most nerdy movie shit. I swear to God, half an hour conversations in the office about like some director of a movie, and I'm like, I don't even know who this guy is, and they're going into detail about like, oh yeah, he's great in this. Like, oh, he's never let me down. He's all the what.
What else?
It's like I watch movies and I look.
Yeah.
What else are you fanboy? I mean, there's the obvious Destiny.
There's
2.
Destiny 2.
Yeah.
That's a big one for us, isn't it?
I lose track. I'll be honest. I mean, I don't know if you want to volunteer any of your own, but
Studio Ghibli's probably
Studio Ghibli's
going to eventually
Jake Swan.
happen.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid,
Metal Gear Solid.
Final
Solid,
Fantasy.
Yeah.
Any weird Japanese game made
Yeah.
by a weird Japanese director.
I don't know if, what other things. I don't think, Gaz, you fanboy about anything really.
I'm more measured about that.
No.
Honestly.
Well, yeah.
I'm a very considered
If
person.
I could say, if there was like your most overused term, it would definitely just be, oh, it's just better on PC, which I guess is something to be proud of. I mean, it's the PC Master Race thing. That's about
true,
it.
but
That's about it.
I'm self-aware of that.
Yeah.
And I use it as a joke. So
Yeah, that's about it.
I tend to promote that narrative because it's a bit of a joke. So
yeah,
it's probably more than.
I mean, I actually fucking hate Ryan Gosling. This is all a
Hey,
really clever
here
joke.
we go.
Don't say such things.
I can't even pretend.
Don't offend Liam. Liam's already
I'm
offended.
sorry, Ryan. I'm sorry. You know, I think you're right. Ryan Gosling in Destiny 2 and film shit. That's about it. I don't see. You're the best person to answer that. So that's it, Jester. I hope that sheds some light and let us know your favourite Ryan Gosling movie down in the comments. Next is Amadeus, and he says, "Hey guys, with regards to your recent YouTube video on Total War Warhammer 2, it's really got me interested in purchasing, but I'm unsure if I'm really going to get into it, so I'm hesitant about dropping 40 quid on the newest one. Which of the earlier, and in brackets, and cheaper games would you recommend as a good starting point? Also, what's up with the sequel coming out soon after the release of Total War Warhammer 1? So, Gaz has played all the Total War games that aren't related to lizards.
Yeah. So, I mean, I got disinterested in Total War games when they become too complicated and too feature rich. I mean, obviously, the fans of the series want to see more features and iterate on the really tried and tested formula every single year. Yeah. I don't begrudge them doing that. That's fine. My favourite Total War game is the original Rome Total War because it's simple. Yeah. Because you build an army, you send it in, you fight. It's awesome. Yeah. Who wouldn't want to do that? You've got your basic unit types. You've got your infantry, you've got your spearmen, you've got your horses, you've got your archers, and they're the foundation of any sort of battle that you'll have. You see spearmen, don't send your horses round. Yeah. You know, or you use your archers. Yeah. It's simple to figure out, and that's I think what they've lost for me in the more recent iterations, especially the Warhammer, is where they've got like rats. What the fuck do rats do? They've got like, you've got like dinosaurs. Like, where do I implement this dinosaur against the rats? Against, it's like you have to figure that out. Yeah. You know where you are with spears. You know where you are with archers. The original Rome Total War, you'll pick it up at a bargain price, and you will have fun with it. That's my recommendation.
Yeah, I'm glad. I guessed that Gaz would say that in the Total War Warhammer video, and he said exactly what I said. So I'm glad about that, because I said you don't know where you are with a rat, man, do you? But you know where you are with spears. I mean, so let me answer your question real quick then. Why is there a sequel coming out to Total War already? It's because they've announced that there's going to be a trilogy of the games. So essentially, in the course of 3 years, they're releasing 3 games that you can then merge into one massive game. So that's what it is.
So what's going to happen is the maps from each of the games, they're all dealing with different parts of the map. So eventually when you have the trilogy, they all connect together for one master grand
mega
campaign.
Yeah,
they're all full-size games though as well. It's not like you feel like you're getting a little slice of a pie here. It's a big game. It's kind of weird because the first Warhammer is still the same price as the second one right now. So it's like, ugh. The second game is a good jumping point, I think. But like as I was saying then about it being too feature rich, people are commenting in our comment section saying it's watered down trash because it's took some things away from the kind of the more recent realistic ones No, I don't know what I'm doing. They are realistic, and yeah, and make it a little bit more simple. But yeah, I've got a friend of mine who has been playing the Total War game since we were about 12 years old, and he says Rome Total War is the best one. So I guess that's two for Rome. Liam, you played any Total War games?
I'm completely useless on this topic.
Liam says Rome as well. So there we go. Rome Total War. You can't go wrong. Hybrid Kraut next says, would you guys ever consider implementing a loot crate system to access your videos?
This is a joke.
You could sell Pretty Good Gaming gold in the Pretty Good Gaming shop for real world money, which us supporters would then use to purchase loot crates containing random videos. Should Lady Luck smile upon you, you get the week's podcast.
I'm totally...
Oh, that's like the best video. You can sound... more often than not, given the industry's standard terrible odds, you can get a 10-minute video of Gaz ranting about microtransactions. It sounds like a win to me. Joke's on you, because this podcast is Gaz ranting about microtransactions.
I mean, you don't... Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. A microtransaction to unlock a microtransaction rant would be quite ironic. It'd be quite a bit of art, that, I think. But I'm fully in favour of like some sort of parody video at some point where we kind of parodied a little bit at the intro of the most recent microtransaction, where we said you can skip to the
skip the intro.
You can pay to skip the video. You don't have to. All you've got to do is pay to the patron. But yeah, hopefully we can continue and just take the piss out of the fact, because we're all very angry about I certainly am about microtransactions. But I guess to the point where we can start like making fun out of it,
because you'll laugh or you'll cry, right?
It's the best way to highlight some like really bad issues in the world, because comedians do all the time, right? They make a joke about things that are really fucking serious, and they're designed to get you thinking about things. And it's
not that you're making fun of the issue; it's just you're making light of this a serious issue, so people can ingest it better. So that was a bit of a joke question. So the last question is a real one. So thanks anyway, Hybrid Crow. It's from Kyle Ramos, and he says, hey guys, I have a question for this week. October is a busy month for gaming, with Shadow of War, Destiny 2 for PC people like me, that came out today, Wolfenstein New Colossus, and Assassin's Creed Origins. Which is my question. Do you guys have any hope/expectations for Assassin's Creed Origins to be a real good game, like a comeback to the franchise, which lost its way since Assassin's Creed 2? The game is clearly overshadowed by these other big games coming out at the same time. And I don't hear you guys talking about Assassin's Creed too often. Does any of you like the franchise? No love?
I used to, but then Assassin's Creed 3 happened, and that game was shit. So I stopped playing the series.
Wow, I mean... I want to kind of just segue into all the great games that come out this month. I mean, fuck me, there's loads, isn't there? Our boards, like every day, we've got like Evil Within 2 on Friday, Mario. Yeah. Oh boy. Okay, so let's just talk about our experience, because we've already played Assassin's Creed Origins, don't you know?
We got hands on, yeah.
And
EGX.
Yeah, we were at EGX. I mean, me and Mike kind of agreed that Black Flag was the best one, right? I played Syndicate, which is, I think, the last one, the one with the twins, Jacob and Evie.
Yeah.
I played the first one. I really liked the first one. I know. What's wrong with me? I didn't play the second one that far because I got absolutely... I don't know what it was, but I think I've told this story before, but I just pressed the map button and every fucking quest was on the screen at once, and I was like... this is too much. So I was just like, fuck this. It makes you feel like you've got I don't know. Apparently Assassin's Creed 2 is like the best one, but I just didn't play it because that put me off. And then I played Assassin's Creed 3, hated it. Yeah, I don't know. This one, it's got a lot of Ubisoftisms in there. You've got this eagle, right? And he's like flying, and then your eagle can just stop, and then it's a CCTV camera. It doesn't even like move a bit like an eagle would. It's just completely static.
It's like the drone from Ghost Recon, isn't it? But just with an eagle skin.
It's like having a CCTV camera. I mean, the world looks pretty cool. I like what they're doing with the discovery mode. I was really trying to break the game when I was playing it. I was trying to like parkour off things at weird angles to try and see what would happen and see if I could ruin the game, see it, like, you know, testing it for that, and it was flawless. Like, I didn't have any problems with that. The mechanics are very tight, very cool and responsive, better than Shadow of War, and I can't shake the fact it's just an Assassin's Creed game.
Let's talk about the game, the combat, because they have
a bit different, isn't it?
Yeah, they have put.
It's like a Dark Souls-y almost for combat, where instead of like X and Y count, you don't have to counter everyone anymore. It's actually like You have to do dodge rolls.
Yeah, exactly.
You have your light and heavy attack. It's more like an RPG this time around than the old Assassin's Creed combat where you're just pressing Y all the time.
Which is Shadow of War is literally press attack until it says counter, and then you press counter, and then and that's what the other Assassin's Creed did, right? That is a huge part of the game as well, and it looks cool, but it plays like shit. This is different.
Yeah, it's an improvement on the combat. I mean, I enjoy the combat to a certain extent with my hands-on time of it, but I couldn't shake the notion, as you were about to say, that it is just another iteration of Assassin's Creed. It's just another skin. It looks prettier because it's another couple of years down the line. It's the same old thing, just rehashed. So I won't be getting this game. If you're tired and bored of open world games where you can gather, just get loads and loads of side quests and this is just a great open world game. This is great. Nothing's changed. Yeah. That's you're not going to find that this has changed. They try and iterate, right? They try and sell it as, we're changing it. We're changing it. We're trying to make it different every single year. We're trying to make added things. Yeah, you're changing it within the confines of its already established structure. Like there's no great changes to it. It's just another open world game.
Yeah, I mean,
so it's
it's
shit,
very
basically.
Ubisoft, especially like Syndicate, which is where there's a part where you could go in, jump on the boats, and like that whole thing. Well, on this game, the mission that we had, I don't know if we all did the same mission. You've got to jump on the boats and all that. It's kind of similar to the Syndicate, but this can play to its strengths because it sounds like you're a fan of Assassin's Creed, and then you'll get in a more. We're just kind of saying it's polished, but it's still an Assassin's Creed. Like that's a bad thing. But if you want exactly the same thing every time, because you know where you stand, but it's more polished. Mike said. I don't know where we all stand on this, but I know it's what Mike said, and I'm inclined to agree. You can tell they've taken a year off just to polish bits. The gameplay is like quite a big change. It's kind of more like Horizon or whatever, or Dark Soulsy. But yeah, it's Assassin's Creed. But obviously, there's one other big element of the game that a lot of people play Assassin's Creed for. Who knew? The story, right? Yep. The story could be interesting because it's in Egypt. I mean, that's pretty cool. There's mummies, pharaohs, and all that shit. That could be really cool. I think that the mission we played, there was like a boy getting beaten by some like masked man. And the boy's getting beaten. Why? Because the boy stole some statues. And the boy's like, I didn't steal the statues. They were on the ship the whole time. And then you're like, all right, mate, me and my eagle will go and get these statues for you. You get back, the boy's still getting clacked. And then the man's like being a bit of a dickhead, isn't he? So then you give the statues back, and then you end up killing them anyway. So there's that. The kid survives. I mean, that was pretty cool. I remember it. That's a good thing. I can't remember what I did on Far Cry 5, but it looks like it could be a solid one in the franchise. It'll be maybe not quite as different as Black Flag was, but it certainly looks like an improvement on Syndicate and stuff like that. So that's what we all stand on Assassin's Creed as a whole. Really.
Yeah, if you like the series and you like open world games and you're not bored of them yet, you will probably like Assassin's Creed because of you've got a bow and arrow now, and the combat is a lot like Horizon, as Mike likes to.
He does.
It is a very good combat system.
It's kind of like if sometimes you want to just know what to expect. Imagine getting it and it's completely different and you're like, oh, this isn't the game I signed up for. It's there, it's old reliable with a new fresh
and it's improved
and tighter combat. And the combat's a huge part of the game, right? Because you're a fucking assassin, unless you're playing Discovery.
Yeah, there was another thing as well that they've commented on is that they're not putting a lot of emphasis on stealth this time around. Or like if there were missions in previous games where you had to stealth it.
Yes.
There was no other alternative, but there's no missions like that this time. People who don't like stealth will not be put off by this because they can achieve their aims in different ways now.
Yeah.
So that's another minor improvement. There's the things like that. We're improving our game all the time. It's different. It's kind of different. It's not totally different like they're trying to sell you. But if you like the Assassin's Creed series and you're a fan of the Horizon Zero Dawn combat, you will probably love this game.
They've took out the sort of tent tube bits, haven't they? The stealth bit.
Oh, there he goes. He mentioned it.
That was our last question, so I was like,
there was no reason that they're taking out the tent tube bits
because that's a stealth game.
I see the stealth segue into the tench mensch.
So I mean, that's it. We'd love the podcast to be longer, guys, but we didn't.
We've got no questions.
Loads of questions.
Step up your game, will you?
Ask us more questions. Preferably about Ryan Gosling.
No.
But here's one. Right. here's a suggestion for you guys. There's loads of games coming out in October, like Kyle Ramos just said then. Let us know what you're excited for, and then why not ask us a question about these games? You know, Evil Within, for example. I mean, we're getting hands-on with that soon. Wolfenstein, what are you excited for? Let us know. And if you've got any questions about the sequels or these games, or you want to know anything else, let us know, because we'd like to talk about games, especially upcoming games and stuff like that. It's always good. It's the time of year for it. We're getting ever closer to our Halloween special, which is going to be fucking wild. I'm so excited for that. That's like the highlight of my
It's
month.
going to be wild. Yeah, we're having a traditional Halloween, aren't we? A traditional British Halloween.
Hopefully we'll get...
When Jake says it's going to be wild...
It's going to be mild. It's going to be mild.
It's going to be something.
Well, listen, here's one thing I want to propose to you guys. We've got plenty of time to arrange it now. If you've got any suggestions for topics for the Halloween special, maybe horror games or, you know, scariest things or anything, if you've got any suggestions that you think might zazz up our beautiful British Halloween podcast special, then let us know. So we've got a lot of time to arrange it. And yeah, any suggestions for topics would be good. The spookier, the better. But for now, we'll see you again. I've been Jake Kulkowski, Gareth Evans, and Liam McKelvey. See you again.